Ready. Play. Ready. Play.
Hello, John Silk. Hello there, everyone.
Hello, Nick Carter. How are you? Can you hear me okay?
I'm here. I can hear you loud and clear, John, even if it is all the way from Portugal.
I just moved my my camera slightly so we don't get Damien Kust lounging in the background. I did have the computer like this so you could see him, but now I've moved it away. He's typing. I don't know what.
Is it Damien Kust lounging that we want to avoid, or is it the easel that's next to him that we want to avoid?
We want to. It's the very attractive person that's handing him strawberries like this. That's the person we want to avoid. To be honest with you, though, him lounging is about 80% of the time he's on the channel, so that's no different really. Sometimes he's like really far back like this, especially like 4 a.m. during the US Open.
I mean, look, we got plenty of that during that time where we tried to do Australian Open live from your lounge.
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, except that time it was 3 of us, I think, lounging around. How are you doing anyway?
Oh, I'm doing good. I'm ready for what this match is going to bring. To be honest, it's a fascinating lineup for me. Grigor Dimitrov has acquitted himself very well against one of the toughest possible opponents in Carlos Alcaraz and came through a potential comeback from Zverev. But now he's taking on the toughest test in tennis right now, and it's going to be interesting to see how sort of this sort of improved Dimitrov, this sort of level that he's found, is going to compare to the ultimate tennis test, Jannik Sinner.
Yeah, my fear, Nick, is that I have some feelings right now of Paris Bercy. I think he came through a really tough 3-set semi-final against Tsitsipas, if I'm right. It was a Masters 1000, and he came through other few tasks on the way, you know, and it's like, wow, okay, here he is. And then it's like, oh, it's Novak Djokovic on the other side of the net. This is a bit different to anything I've seen before. And although, of course, Alcaraz is a mountain in itself, I think Jannik Sinner, arguably, and in Miami in particular, is, as you say, is the toughest test in tennis right now.
No doubt that Sinner is going to be a bigger test, a tougher test than Alcaraz as of March 2024. That may flip around at some point in the future, but and then Djokovic is Djokovic, right? Especially in Paris, where he's very comfortable there and had already kind of run the gauntlet after some tough matches with Rune and Rublev. I think so. I think this, for me, this is going to be about not necessarily can Grigor Dimitrov win, but how much can he push Jannik Sinner? and what results will that yield if he does?
Yeah, I mean, if we go to a third set, then that could be fun. I'm just going to address a couple of things in the chat. Hi, Ashley. Wonderful. I will disappear when... Are the players on court yet, by the way? Because I haven't even...
The players are arriving on court. Looks like it. I mean, they're showing the crowd some kind of montage. Daniel Collins getting the trophy yesterday. So I think the players are imminently about to enter the court.
I have a question for you, but I'll come to it in about 60 seconds. Before I come to that question, hi, Ashley. Wonderful to have you on board. Make sure you hit the like button, everybody who is here. And of course, if you are new, you can subscribe, or you can be like Esther, although it could be Esther, depending on where she's from. And you can also become a member, and you can get access to some extra bonus footage. And I'm sure we'll be providing some of that throughout the coming weeks. Also, we've got, so thank you, Esther, by the way, and blah, blah, blah. Arturo, by the way, I knew that would make Damien laugh as soon as I said blah, blah, blah. But nothing could be funnier than actually what you said a few weeks ago, Nick, which is not the question I've got for you, by the way. There's nothing funnier than I think it was when Ashley became a member. I've still got it here.
Oh, my word. Yeah.
Notes. Do you know what?
That was not a great line.
It was funny. Nick says this, and I've got it here. Thanks for becoming a member. I hope you don't regret it. And I've still got it here, as you can see. So anyway, fingers crossed Esther doesn't regret it. But I also want to address Arturo. Arturo clearly is not a Holger Rune nor Alcaraz fan because he's very excited by this final. Two, big players, if you like, are obviously going to be contesting it. And he also then says, at least it's not going to be the badly educated Rune nor the all-powerful Alcaraz, at least according to the press. So anyway, he's obviously very pleased that it's going to be Dimitrov against Sinner. Now, my question for you, Nick, is, are you ready for this? Well, don't worry, it's a technical question. It's not weird. It's
sure, let's go with John. John, with you, it could be anything.
Yeah, that's true. Fair enough. Okay, so Damien and I were talking earlier about yesterday's final and how I was surprised that Collins, won it as comfortably as she did, despite that final game, which was pretty epic. Which would be a bigger surprise? I mean, I guess for you, because you tipped Collins to win it. Let's go back to the beginning of the tournament then.
Yes, let's go beginning tournament. Yeah.
Before the tournament, Collins wins or Dimitrov wins. Which would be the bigger shock for you before the tournament?
I think a lot of it would depend on the context and who they would have to beat. But I would say if you just took it as a both, let's just say that in theory, both draws fell apart. Collins would be the more surprising one, given where her ranking was, how streaky she can be as a player. Dimitrov, in sort of the last few months or so, has kind of been pushing towards top 10 level and competing with the big guys. A title for him would not have been a surprise in the same way as Daniel Collins would be. Obviously, Collins has pedigree, but I would say they both have very similar kind of pedigrees, with Dimitrov being an ATP finals champion and Daniel Collins being a Grand Slam finalist. I'd say those kind of achievements are fairly similar, given they weren't necessarily backed up.
How old is Dimitrov, by the way?
But Dimitrov is 32, I think.
Okay, so a bit younger than. Okay. But yeah. Anyway, I mean, I think I would agree with that. But I also, I mean, I think I was maybe not quite in a minority, but it was a lot more open than people suggest. I thought Rybakina was a heavy favorite for me yesterday, but both the result and also just seeing what people were saying, not just you three who were doing the commentary yesterday. I think two of the three of you tipped Collins to win, but also looking at various polls, and I know polls can be skewed and stuff, but a lot of people were optimistic for Daniel Collins, and I get it because she went through in straight sets. But I saw some of those matches from start to finish, such as the Garcia one, and Garcia did seem to be a level or two below her best, and I don't know how much the shoulder affected her. So, yeah, but listen, that match point from Daniel Collins, I mean, just phenomenal. Bearing in mind how close she'd been, I think that was her 4th championship point, wasn't it? So, yeah.
Yeah, I think she played a phenomenal match. Yeah, maybe her opponents didn't show up, but the margin of victory was impressive. Like she wasn't like a level above; it was a level or two above, and that's not necessarily standard. I think Collins was playing at a level that was incredible, and Rybakina was really scrapping her way through that draw. Like she really had to fight to get to that final. And I think that was what kind of tipped it. By the way, they are warming up at the minute.
Great. When they start practicing serves, I will disappear. And I think Bianca is going to be joining us shortly. I haven't checked any Twitters or WhatsApp messages, but I think she's going to be joining at some point. But yeah, okay, let's go back then to today. We saw Dimitrov, or I watched the Dimitrov Alcaraz match. I know you were commentating on that one. I mean, there was a Dimitrov for 2 matches, but that match he just played the best maybe some of us have ever seen him play. In fact, I can see Bianca joining us right now. I don't know. I thought he had a chance against Alcaraz, but I just didn't see that level of performance coming from Dimitrov. Hey, Bianca.
Hey.
How are you?
Good. How are you guys?
The tone in your voice, Bianca, is you sound underwhelmed to see me and to hear me on this. It's like you can remember pre-matches going, yeah, Nick and I, and then it's like, oh, who's this imposter?
I didn't think you were going to be here.
Yeah.
Just wait for Nerlan to arrive. He'll start hyping up Bianca really quick.
Yeah, that's true. But Nerlan, yeah, who knows? Nerlan will send you 27 messages, and if you don't address all 27, he gets very upset.
Or if you don't take his messages seriously.
Oh,
well, that too,
okay.
Yeah. Bianca, okay, I'll come to you as you've just arrived. Dimitrov, Sinner, give me a 60-second preview, thoughts. Can Dimitrov win this match?
Well, he's beaten Sinner before, so at least we know.
Nick,
it's
you just had your
possible.
hand in the air. Is that because they're serving, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I'll go off the stream. Go on, Bianca. You can answer that question.
How's it begun? Am I behind for once?
Serving practice.
Practicing serves.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. He's beaten Sinner before, so at least we know it's possible. If he keeps up the form that he's been showing, and especially the last 2 matches, I think anything's possible. And truly, what a good ending to this run it would be if he would be able to win. Especially, I feel like Sinner is obviously the best player in the world right now. That would really just prove that Dimitrov is back.
It would definitely prove. I think Dimitrov would be more than back by that.
Yeah.
Like by that point, like he's suddenly a contender.
Yeah.
Because we say he's beaten Sinner before. This is a very different version of Jannik Sinner than he would have played before.
Yep.
I was saying on John on stream before. I mean, I'll ask you, like, is Jannik Sinner the ultimate test in tennis right now, men's tennis?
Yeah, I think so. Especially the way he pushes people around on the court. He really will expose like what you have as a weakness, and if you're able to come through that, I think it proves why only the top people, Alcaraz, Djokovic, are really able to have these exhilarating matches with him.
And Shelton. Don't forget Shelton and Shanghai.
Yes.
Although having said that, Shelton showing up depends a lot on Shelton.
Yeah. Sinner's consistently there.
Right, well, Grigor Dimitrov has won the toss and is going to serve. So he's been handed some tennis balls. He's holding on his racket. Now he's put the 3 tennis balls in his hand, and he's currently chucked one away. He's got 2 in his hand. He's stepping up to serve. Where are you at, Bianca?
The first point has been served already.
Then, in which case, how do you want to do this? Do you want to do me talking and you give your thoughts, or do you want to bring us as up to date as possible?
I can bring us as up to date as possible, and if there's an exciting point, I can give play by play on what's happening.
All right. Well, I've just seen that first point happening now. So I would say, we'll go with Bianca's steer on updates, and we can have the most live up-to-date scoreboard possible. Well, while we're waiting for all that to take place, and Bianca, you can let us know if anything exciting is happening. We've got break point opportunities, like 30 all, stuff like that. We're going to go to Ghosty first, because Ghosty's got a question for the panel, and I think by the way, we've got a few people watching us at the minute. We will answer any questions, or try to answer any questions that you send us. Please be aware, if we're into the middle of a deep conversation, it may get missed. If you're really desperate, then just wait and put it again after the conversation. Please don't spam. You will get banned. But Ghosty has a question. Is Grigor and the old guard a disadvantage because they're swinging grip style? I feel like semi-Western is more versatile than Dimitrov's Eastern grip. That's a very technical question. Fortunately, we have someone who's actually played a little bit of tennis who might be able to answer it.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's worked in the past, so I feel like how we don't have that many one-handed backhands as well. It's just kind of, I guess, trends in tennis. Clearly, it does work for him. I don't know. I'm not. I play tennis, but the technical parts, I'm like, I just know how to swing. I'm not, I don't know which way is considered necessarily better. I feel like it all just depends on.
What kind of grip did you have when you were playing?
I had Western. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the popular one. I think I read a book once that like suggested that like Western or extreme Western was the better option. I can't remember how Federer played.
Yeah, mine was pretty extremely Western, actually. Think about it.
It was very extreme Western, and actually, that's Swiatek. I think plays extreme Western as well. As does Coco. Oh, was Fed Eastern? Okay, I don't know. Like I always assumed it was like the butt of the racket was playing like towards the ball when he swung. But anyway, maybe we've got our East and West mixed up. So if you find us commentating in a sort of an Eastern European language, you may be on the wrong stream. But yeah, so that's an interesting question. I think you might be onto something, but I think you might need to get someone like Vanch on the stream to maybe go into that. So maybe Ghost, if you show up for ATP Weekly when that happens, probably tomorrow, maybe we can actually Vanch isn't usually on that. We'll get Vanch on. Just when you next see Vanch, just ask him the question, because I think he'll give you a much better answer than either of us can. And Ghosty also has a very good suggestion that obviously if you want a super chat, obviously we will prioritize that, but you don't have to because times are tight right now. So it looks like Dimitrov has easily held his first.
Very quick hold in the service game, no trouble on serve. It's always good to see like the first couple of games to see who has the nervy start, who's ready to go on serve, and Dimitrov is ready.
Is Sinner ready?
So far, yes. We're in a pretty good rally right now. And we just got a forehand error from Sinner, 15-all.
First error of the match. That's from Jannik. Sinner did not call that.
One thing that's really surprised me about watching Dimitrov, he's so fast. I know he's not old, but you know, age in tennis, old starts at past 25. He has some speed on him. And I feel like that really, especially in the Alcaraz match, caught Alcaraz off guard because the drop shot was not working at all. So we'll see what tactics Jannik employs to get around that speed.
Hi, Raj. Good to have you on. Nice to have you here. Please let us know your thoughts on this match. Yeah, I think Dimitrov is still spry enough. He can get away with it. Hey, look, 30 is the new 25 in tennis. Clearly.
Clearly.
Albeit, I think, you know, not for all players. Like there are some who are in that age bracket who've faded a bit. Raonic is more Nishikori more due to injury, but David Goffin's been in the wilderness for a bit. He's in that generation. Yeah. I'm trying to think who else was I think it was very much Dimitrov, Nishikori, Raonic who were the top guys from that generation. I can't think of anyone else off the top of my head. Maybe Team just about, but he was a couple of years younger than them.
Yeah, he's kind of on the edge of them and then like the Medvedev, Zverev generation.
Yeah, and then I guess it depends on where you want to put him, really. He did break through. Was it 14 or 15 was like he really came on the scene? I feel like it was more 15.
I don't remember.
Yeah. You're too young.
I was like
25, Bianca. You're too young. Looks like Sinner's coming through this service game all right, despite that forehand error.
Yeah. One error. He's up 40-15, serving second serve here. Oh, no, it was a let. So second serve now. It's a problem when I have the stream muted. I never know if it's a let.
I have exactly the same problem. It's like, no, I have to second guess myself.
Yeah. And backhand error from Dimitrov, and that's game 1-0. One apiece.
I've got to find a way of getting some kind of wireless earphones or something, I can hear what's going on. But
I have a pair, but they don't tend to last an entire match. They'll die before it's over.
So it looks like Raj saying in Sin is his favorite. I would have got any Dimitrov fans watching us, but it's possible. I don't know how many people are. Sinner is winning over fans very, very quickly. Obviously, Kuroda boys have been here since the start.
I've been seeing a lot of Kuroda boys in different stadiums, and I think we have some imposters. I don't think these are all the same guys.
Oh gosh, Rome is going mental.
Oh yes, and watch him go out the first round.
I mean, do you think that's likely? Do you think Sinner needs to improve that much on clay, or do you think Sinner, I don't know if you could call it 2.0, maybe 3.0, is at least on base level on clay sufficiently better than the field?
Yeah, I think he'll do. I'm not sure, honestly. Like, I mean, I think back to that Roland Garros match against, who was it? Altmaier.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he was good. It just was, again, he'd had a lot of matches where it was really tight matches that he'd been on the losing end of, and that was another one. So I feel like this version of Sinner, I'm excited to see how he is on clay. That being, it's not his like preferred surface. I feel like we could get maybe a title.
That would be cool. And I think everyone would probably hope that was Rome.
Yeah, that would be a nice fairy tale. Are you rooting for anyone in particular in this final, or we're impartial on the stream?
I want Grigor to acquit himself well. I'm not particularly worried about who wins. I just don't want it to be a beatdown.
Yeah.
Because I did the Sinner Medvedev match, and that was an unexpected beatdown. After hyping it up as it's going to be a really close match, it's going to be a real battle. Medvedev might finally get Sinner now, and then no.
Yeah, Grigor's rolling through right now. Quick game there.
Did you catch that Sinner Medvedev match?
I didn't. It did.
Oh.
I was like, I think I was out or somewhere. I was like, I'll probably get home like an hour or so into it, and it was over by the time I could even watch any of it.
Yeah. No. My summary of it was, and you can like get other people's view on it. But my perspective was Sinner came out really, really strong level. Medvedev tried to start out playing aggressive, missed a few shots, got frustrated he wasn't able to deal with Sinner, and it just unraveled.
Oh gosh.
It was definitely, I was commentating more on Medvedev being frustrated than Sinner out hitting him, as it were. Mm-hmm. But I'm willing to hear alternative views of how that match went. Shawana saying both Collins and Dimitrov winning will be awesome. Obviously, two big underdog wins.
Yeah.
John actually asked me before the stream started, but if let's go back to the beginning of the tournament. If which would you be more surprised by, Danielle Collins winning or Dimitrov winning the title?
I feel like I'm not surprised by either, seeing how they've been playing. Maybe Dimitrov, just based on like the field, but Collins, especially how she played at the Australian Open, even though she didn't come through that match, there have been shades like she's back at her best and can take on anyone on the WTA, as we've seen. So yeah, I think her win would be a little bit less surprising from like the beginning of the tournament.
Okay. I went the opposite. I thought Collins, because he's a much more streaky player, and Dimitrov's trajectory was suggesting he could compete. I went with the idea of like, what if both draws fell apart? Because that would be the scenario that I would imagine would happen. And of course, it didn't quite work out like that. Like, Collins beat Rybakina to win the title, and which was probably more plausible, and Dimitrov took down Alcaraz, which was probably less plausible if you predicted that pre-tournament. Seeing great play from Sinner here. Like, this is definitely so far being a very confident match from both players.
What a backhand return from Dimitrov you're going to see in a second.
Okay, but he was doing that against Alcaraz as well. That was one of the big reasons he won.
You know, they don't get a lot of play against one-handed backhanders anymore. There's only a few, so it's a great shot here with amazing angle. Sinner couldn't do anything about that.
Off a second serve as well, so that's going to up the pressure on Sinner to make first serves. Yeah, I'm seeing it now. Yeah, that's that inside-out backhand winner. Yeah, really, really good. How was Dimitrov Zverev? Did you watch that one? I didn't catch that one.
I did watch that one. Honestly, almost the entire match, Dimitrov was on the back foot. Like, Zverev had chances. Most of his service games were like he was holding pretty easily, and a lot of Dimitrov's service games it was going to deuce and he was getting out of. The break that got Dimitrov the first set, it was like 2 errors from Zverev and it was over. Like, Dimitrov capitalized immediately, and that was basically the story of the match. Like, Zverev was better for most of it, but Dimitrov was just better when it counted.
Yeah, that's actually the most accurate. Like, that's my standard description of a Zverev loss I've ever heard. By the way, big point coming up here.
Mm-hmm. Very important point here. Oh, excellent down the line forehand from Dimitrov to set up break points here. Lots of Bulgarians in the crowd.
Well, they probably flew over especially. Either that or Miami has a bigger Bulgarian contingent than I expected. It's usually the South Americans who show up, or Latin Americans. All right, talk us through this, Bianca. Are we going to get a break here?
All right, let's see. Okay, first serve is good from Sinner. Dimitrov gets it back. And we're in a forehand cross-cut rally here. Backhand from Dimitrov. Oh. He hits a forehand just wide.
Going for a bit too much?
Bit too much. He kind of fired off just a bit early. They weren't really in a rally yet, but it was a right move. Maybe 1 or 2 shots too early. So he had control of the point there.
I can see why you want to get first strike in against Sinner. You don't want to give him rhythm.
Yeah.
You've got to put him on the back foot, push him back, make him defend, because otherwise, if he gets his weapons into weapons firing, you've got no chance.
Yeah.
At the same time, also, if you try and hang with him, he's quite happy to hang.
All right, second serve here. Oh, Dimitrov goes for the same shot again, and it misses again.
The inside-out forehand costing him a little bit.
Yeah.
Might want to rein that one in.
And Sinner ends it with a great serve. Gets out of the first bit of trouble.
How surprised are we that Sinner was the one to have the tricky service game? First one.
Not really. It's not like he always rolls through service games. I feel like he just comes up with the goods to get out of.
He does need to up his first serve though, because I've just seen the stat that flashed up before. He's at 42% first serves. I can't read the screen, so I don't know what that's saying, but I don't think his I think his first serve percentage is must still be under 50% even after finishing off that game. So he does need to get that start finding some first serves again. Otherwise, Dimitrov is going to be more of his service games.
Great rally here. Sinner setting up the inside-out forehand. Down the line again from Sinner, down the line from Dimitrov. Oh, and Dimitrov throws in a drop shot, and it's just short. Now, what I hope doesn't happen here, which we see so often, is one person will have trouble on their serve, get out of the game, the other person fails to get the break, and then immediately gets broken.
That's going to depend on sort of how they approach the game and also how enthused the person who got themselves out of trouble is. Yeah, I'm seeing that rally now, and Sinner's definitely showing Dimitrov how to hit an inside-out forehand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ghosty, I don't know if Tennis Abstract records breakpoint saved. There is that match charting project. Wouldn't surprise if it was in there, but I guess it's not. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it was in there.
Oof, Dimitrov in a bit of trouble himself now. A double fault to go down love 30. Did see this a bit in this Zverev game, and he was able to come through a lot of games where he was at a love 30 deficit. So let's see what he brings up here now. Definitely needs a first serve.
You get a let.
Oh, and a perfect ace just there.
Good job. Got some Sinner fans in chat. You know, while we're hoping for a competitive match, they're going to be hoping that Sinner breaks here. So Jannik Sinner, having had some disappointments in Miami finals before, he lost the 2021 final to Hubert Hurkacz, and then the 2023 final to Daniil Medvedev. So he's pretty kind of feels like he really he's earned himself in the Miami trophy at this point.
Mm-hmm. Oh, great stuff from Sinner just now to pass Dimitrov at the net. Need to be a bit better from Dimitrov. Sinner threw in a drop shot, and Dimitrov got there, but so did Sinner.
And suddenly we go from breakpoint opportunities for Grigor Dimitrov to breakpoint opportunities for Jannik Sinner to take control in this match. And this is why Jannik Sinner is the toughest test in tennis. If you don't take your opportunities, he will come for you.
Yeah, make you pay for it. Great first serve from Dimitrov. Oh, and a beautiful backhand cross court to put away the ball. One breakpoint saved.
It's almost like you have to keep away from Dimitrov's backhand at the minute, which is the opposite way to most players. I think Medvedev's the only other player I can think of where you don't want to go to his backhand too much.
Yeah.
Maybe that's just the shot that's firing at the minute.
All right, first serve is good. And Dimitrov is at the net. Oh, and a pass from Sinner. Gets the break.
I'm interested to see how that point plays out because I'm about to see Dimitrov serve at 30-40. Did he leave the door open for Sinner?
He did. He left. He was standing in no man's land there.
Yeah, I'm having a look at that now because I know there were change of ends. Yeah, Dimitrov goes out wide with a serve, backhand play from Sinner. Dimitrov, yeah, came back in and left the space open. Like Sinner, the approach shot was just had Sinner with too much time. You know, if you're going to approach the net, you've got to hope your opponent's been rushed.
Yeah. All right, down a break. It's early still, and he's been able to make headway in Sinner serve. So I think the break back is absolutely on the table.
Oh, for sure. And even if it doesn't break back, it's only the first set.
Yeah.
You know, you're not down. You're not out just because you lost a set. Ghost is saying Dimitrov crashed the net against Zverev. Will that work against Sinner though? I would have thought not, Bianca.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen like two shots just now Dimitrov made at the net that Sinner was easily able to get to and swipe away. Zverev was stumbling to those. So I don't know. The tactics the drop shots are gonna have to get better. He's gonna have to rush Sinner if that's even possible to do.
I think it's possible. I think it's possible to rush any tennis player, right? I can't think of a tennis player that's like that's kind of impossible to rush. Like even Novak with his incredible defense, you know, you can still push him back. You know, Rafa, he gives so much space to the baseline, but if you get the angle.
All right. First point on the Sinner serve. We got an error from him there. So it's love 15, Dimitrov, and he's really hyping himself up. And again, something is happening. Oh, with a light. There's a random light on that Sinner has notified the umpire to get turned off.
That's going to distract him. I don't want that in your face too much. I would explain a little bit what happened there, or maybe he's making most of it, or Dimitrov is really pushing for that break back, which, yeah, he could do against Alcaraz. Matthew's saying the biggest difference between Dimitrov and Sinner has been the decision making. And with the drop shot and coming to the net maybe wasn't the right choice of shot, in Matthew's opinion. I mean, I think if you're going to try and move Sinner around and get him off his comfort zone, actually, I don't think they're necessarily bad choices. It all comes down to, are you in a position to execute them? What do you think? Yeah,
of course. I mean, pushing him back and then throwing in the drop shot, that's like I think a great way to beat him. It's just, again, Dimitrov is trying to do that quickly, so that's Sinner doesn't get in the rhythm, and so it's just like the shots that he's choosing are like correct. They just need to be inside the line and a little bit better.
Stat flashing up on screen that Sinner's still below 50% first serves in, but he's winning 100% points behind it, and which if Sinner can up that percentage, he could run away with this.
Mm-hmm.
Just see him ace for 40-15. I'm assuming you're about to see him win the game.
Yes.
All right. So Dimitrov is stepping up, hoping that this set doesn't run away from him. He's playing well enough that he can keep this to one break.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And the games on serve have been good. Like he's had love holds. So again, it's just one blip. Needs to stay within one game, and then the scoreline won't look as bad.
Yeah, it's going to be about how he approaches this mentally as well, which, again, given how Dimitrov has been over the last few months and probably even the last year, because he's top 10 now, that's actually, his mentality's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's not like the Dimitrov who would wilt fairly easily. Maybe not easily, but maybe, I don't know, what was it? What do you think it's been that's been holding Dimitrov back throughout his career that's made him?
I feel like you can see it happen. Like he's playing really well, and then the opponent wins a set or wins a break, and you just see him like fall away. I don't even know how to describe it. Like when Zverev won that second set, I was like, it's over. But he prevailed. He held out. There feels like there's something, I don't know, different in how he's, I guess, operating as a tennis player now.
Yeah, I think the one match I can think of where he kind of held on despite the adversity was a match he lost, and that was that semi-final with Nadal in 2017 at the Australian Open, which I think for some people is still the best match he's ever played, although that win against Alcaraz might be rivaling it now. Agreeing with you, Matthew, by the way. I think I said the same thing in the commentary. Like, he came into the net when the approach shot wasn't good enough. Like he wasn't in the intensity and the point.
Yeah, Swarna played really well but didn't win. That has been his story. You know, that has also kind of a little bit been Jannik Sinner's story. I feel like previously there were so many highlight reel matches that he was on the losing end of, and it's been like the middle and back end of last year and this year where he's really been able to win these crazy matches. So it's kind of funny that they're both in the final.
And we say crazy matches. Obviously, I think the matches that we're thinking of are the ones against Medvedev back end of last year and Djokovic. Those would be the ones where he's been really tested.
All right, big point here. 30 all.
I might actually call you up.
Serve is good from Dimitrov, a great return from Sinner. We got a backhand slice from Dimitrov. An inside-out forehand from Dimitrov. That's in. Great cross-court forehands now. Oh, and Sinner's pushing him around, but he's there. And the backhand streams wide. We have another break point for Sinner here to go up a potential double break.
Forced error or unforced error?
Unforced. It was a backhand slice that just kind of skated a little wide.
Yeah, the backhand slice is a hard one to pull off properly. Right, okay, break point. Let's focus on the match. Yeah, definitely unforced error from Dimitrov.
First serve into the net. So Sinner will get a look at a second serve here. Oh, and a very strong return from Sinner there. He is pressing Dimitrov. Inside out forehand from Sinner. Pushing Dimitrov back. Oh, but Dimitrov changes directions beautifully with the backhand and approaches the net, puts away a wonderful volley to get to deuce.
And yet again, the Dimitrov backhand gets him out of trouble. That's been the money shot for him.
In trouble, but also gets him out of trouble. It's a beautiful down the line shot there.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, the slice wasn't great earlier, but the forehand, I think, has been the one letting him down more often than not. I don't know. Maybe it's both wings. It's like there's not one particular side that's breaking down more than the other.
Yeah.
But the big shots are coming from the backhand.
Okay, good first serve there. Oh, wonderful inside-out forehand. Oh, but Sinner gets it, and it looked like it was going to be a passing shot, but Dimitrov was able to get to it. It just went into the net. Advantage Sinner.
And this is why Jannik Sinner is the biggest test in tennis. He will not go away. He will run down everything you throw at him. Yeah, I've just seen that point now.
All right, first serve is good from Dimitrov. And a great 1-2 from him there to get back to deuce.
This game could be critical. I think it's going to decide whether Jannik Sinner runs away with this match or not. I don't know if it decides whether he wins the set. I'm not optimistic Dimitrov can break back, but I think if Sinner was to break here, I would be pessimistic about Dimitrov's chance. I think I'd be surprised if he didn't then just pull away and win this set and the next set really easily.
All right, beautiful serve there from Dimitrov. And a volley put away that Sinner was able to get a racket on, but couldn't do anything with it. So advantage Dimitrov. Wouldn't he just love an ace right now?
Yeah, I think most tennis players in that situation would love that. Yeah, lovely +1 beforehand.
All right, let on the first serve.
Maximum tension. On the string and the net, probably.
Oof. First serve was good, but the return was better from Sinner, and Dimitrov couldn't do much with that. Back to deuce.
Agree with you, Matthew. Yes, this kind of play results. You have to be really. You have to put the reputation of your opponent completely out of your head to have a chance. This is the kind of aura that Djokovic and Nadal, and to a certain extent even Alcaraz, have built up.
Dimitrov gets his ace back to his advantage. Perfect timing for one.
Actually, yeah, that's quite. I don't know. Has Alcaraz built up an unbeatable aura yet?
Absolutely not.
No. Like at some point, did he ever have that in his career?
I think there was a point.
Maybe like on clay in 2022 or
Yeah,
on grass
yeah.
last year.
I think after he beat and Dimitrov gets the game. Woo! Stays within one break, so the hopes are still alive.
He's making this competitive, which is what we want to see. But yeah, go on, finish your point.
Yeah, I think when he beat Djokovic and Nadal back to back at Madrid, I think there was definitely an aura around him then, and then he completely dismantled Zverev in the final of Madrid. Yeah, he felt unbeatable around.
And then Zverev got his revenge at Roland Garros.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I think maybe after Wimbledon last year there was that feeling of maybe he's unbeatable because he just won Queens. He only lost to Djokovic at Roland Garros because he cramped. Even that Djokovic lost to Cincinnati, there was that sense that maybe only Djokovic could beat him.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, after the Medvedev loss at the semi-finals at the US Open, he lost it again.
Well, actually, when did he lose to Fabian Marozsan? Because I feel like that also...
Rome. So it was before that grass season. Before that. But you're right. Yeah, that was out of nowhere. And he just won Barcelona and Madrid again. But by that point, we were taking it for granted to win those tournaments. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I don't... Oh, that's a stat I'm going to look up. When was the last time Carlos Alcaraz lost a tennis match in Spain?
Oh, we've got Shakira in the crowd.
Don't. Well, I'm sure she's a popular there. Maybe they couldn't find any tennis players today. Serena's still the most fabulous guest they've had all week.
Oh yes, I was going to say it was great to see her there. Obviously, I don't know if she's here today. And her and Dimitrov are friends, longtime friends, so she's out supporting him against Zverev.
Matthew, I don't know where Sinner lies in the list of returners on tour. That's a really, really good question. I don't have those stats to hand. You want someone like Vanch for that. Again, Vanch, where are you? This is the kind of match he's probably doing his job. Still
Sinner is 11 out of 11 on first serve points won in this set. So if that first serve percentage gets any higher, can't see how Dimitrov makes headway.
Yeah, he's not gonna have a hope.
The backhand slice is not working for Dimitrov right now. It's just sailing a bit wide.
And is it because I suppose again it's like sailing a bit wide? That's an execution problem rather than necessarily getting through Sinner, because I think it's missing before Sinner has a chance on it.
Yeah.
He's just obviously just not following through enough on it, maybe. Although I do wonder with that shot, because I've just seen it, whether he was just a little bit too close to it from where he was. Just seeing the stat flash up on the screen. Winners to unforced errors ratio. Interestingly, Sinner on the both Sinner hasn't hit. Pai hasn't hit any winners yet. On either wing. Sorry, Dimitrov. Yeah, Dimitrov hasn't hit any forehand winners, but it's 2 backhand winners and 6 backhand unforced errors, but no winners and no unforced errors in the Dimitrov forehand. Oh, and Sinner's gone wide with a under 10 with an inside-out forehand on my screen. Dimitrov's got one foot in the game.
Oof. We have a double fault from Sinner to bring up 30 all.
Now he's got 2 feet.
2 feet in.
Can he take a step forward?
And second serve points won here. I see a stats. Dimitrov has won 6 out of 10. Sinner has won 3 out of 10. So
okay.
And he'll get a second serve. First serve into the net from Sinner. Oof. And it was a great body serve. Nothing Dimitrov could do, but try hit that backhand and it just sailed away.
Really smart serving from Jannik Sinner there. Best thing to do with a second serve is if you can't kick it, body serve it.
Mm-hmm.
I say this like I can do that.
Ugh, and a wonderful serve to get out of the game.
All right, we're back on Dimitrov. Can Dimitrov extend this set and make Sinner serve it out? I think he can.
Yeah.
I'm pretty positive about it.
It's always good to ask the question. You know, it's a little nervy serving for a set instead of just handing it to them then and there. Because I feel like we see so many times servers, like when you are serving for the set, it's nervy and like it's probably one of the best chances to break back.
For sure. I think they're doing a ball change at the minute, which is probably why the action's a little bit slow on our side. But we're underway now.
Oof, great first point from Sinner, really pressing at the net.
Interesting. Sinner coming into the net now.
He's pushing. I mean, he has the freedom to still has the break, can really jump on it here.
Yeah, absolutely. I think he's going to try and push for the break now.
Yeah,
obviously to reduce. Yeah, go on.
Serving in the next set.
Yeah, there's that. I was also going to say gets the job done quicker. It's less pressure, and I think also mentally for Dimitrov, like for Sinners, like I've broken you twice. I can break you whenever I want. Like I've got it gives you so much confidence in a second set.
Ooh, really lucky net cord there for Dimitrov. Clipped the net and just rolled over onto Sinner's side.
I mean, he needs something to go as well.
Yeah.
Fantastic having so many of you here for this match. By the way, if you are new, please give us a subscribe, follow us. We will bring you content. We bring you content like this with all the tennis tournaments, and we've got some behind the scenes coming from the ATP event in Estoril coming up this week, which you don't want to miss. Let's see if
All right, we got 15:30 here. Second serve. Oh, what a return from Sinner to bring up set points.
He really is going for it, is Jannik Sinner.
Yes,
he wants this set. He wants this set done now in his pocket.
Gosh, he was all over that. All right, what does Dimitrov have left? Excellent serve down the tee for an ace. What a way to answer that.
Clutch serve. Still got to do it one more time. Still got to do it one more time. Can Grigor Dimitrov dig himself out of trouble for another service game? Bearing in mind he's been in trouble for the last 2, got broken in the first one, saved break points in the last one. He's keeping on fighting here, is Grigor Dimitrov.
Great inside in forehand from Dimitrov there. Oh my gosh. Was pushing Sinner, was all over it, but Sinner responded with a passing shot, passing backhand down the line to steal the set. Wow.
2 breaks, Sinner wins 6-3. He's up and looking very good in this match. The one hope Dimitrov has is that Sinner was also up in his 2021 final against Hubert Hurkacz. But that was proto Sinner. This is proto Sinner. Matthew saying male player in the opener has won their first major and then won the next one on the calendar. Carlos is his favourite, but Sinner's confidence is so high right now. There is still that question mark of Sinner on clay. You know, if this was the US Open going to the Australian Open, I'd be more confident about Sinner following up. Clay, I think the field's a lot closer.
Yeah.
In general, actually, like Alcaraz may be the favourite on clay at the minute, but Djokovic is still in the mix. Amazing on clay, probably prefers the slower clay conditions at Roland Garros. You've got, and then bear in mind that this is where Zverev will step up. Rude steps up.
Zverev is very much in the mix this year. The fact that he was able to get back to the semis last year, having just come off of that foot injury, I feel like he's definitely in the conversation.
Yeah, he's going to have to be for Roland Garros. He's always a contender there. Semi-finals, 22, 23, and 21, actually. Narrowly lost to Tsitsipas in 5. Almost came back in that one. So, yeah, Zverev is going to be a factor with Alcaraz and Sinner and Djokovic. Will Medvedev be a factor? That's probably the bigger question.
I mean, you never know.
Why not?
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I've always said he just needs to change his mentality about clay. He just says he doesn't like it.
Which he did last year, and he won Rome.
Yeah, so I feel like if he admits that he can actually play on clay, he might actually start playing on clay a lot better, more consistently.
He's going to have to admit he plays well on clay now after last year. Okay. The Shapovalov loss at Roland Garros was unfortunate, but I think Shapovalov was having an amazing day.
Yeah. Watch the first title Daniil Medvedev ever defends be Rome.
Oh, gosh, that would just be so ironic. That'd be so Medvedev as well.
Mm-hmm. All right, into the start of the second set here. Sinner serving. Do we think Dimitrov responds here, or do you think it'll be like...
I think Dimitrov won't roll over. I don't see Sinner breaking to love or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't have an awful lot of hope that Dimitrov breaks Sinner at all in this set, and I highly expect Sinner will get at least 1.
Okay.
But hey, let's hopefully he proves me wrong.
Great stuff from Dimitrov at the net just now. Gosh, he's had to win like this point, which you'll see at the net. He had to win it like 2-3 times over, whereas during this Zverev match, it was just the first ball and it was done. So maybe set 1 is like a learning set about how much he has to do against Sinner.
Which is a lot. Let's be honest. He basically has to be perfect.
Yeah.
Because I think if Dimitrov redlines, he can hit through Sinner. Like, he could be hitting winners past Sinner and putting him on the back foot in these rallies. But he's got to do it point in, point out and rattle Sinner a bit so that if Dimitrov does dip, he has a little bit, Sinner won't have time to put his level back up. Sean, maybe, Clay will show whether Sinner's defense has improved, but I think it's one of those unknowns, right? We haven't seen this version of Sinner on clay. I have no doubt he's going to be contending for titles. It's not going to be about, is he going to be contender? Because he is. It's going to be about whether his advantage is reduced or removed, essentially. Because the minute he's playing with a massive advantage over everyone else.
Dimitrov unlucky there with a backhand that just clipped the net and bounced out. Was firmly in that rally there, but bit unlucky.
Ghosty Bianca hasn't answered that question yet. Because I didn't know if you were back or not.
Ghost, I have never smashed a racket. Unlike professional tennis players who have them available in copious amounts of numbers, I did not. So I was definitely not allowed to smash my rackets growing up. Only if they had started breaking themselves, then it was like, ooh, yay, we get to smash it. But no, I've never actually smashed any of my own
That's
rackets.
a special treat.
Yeah.
I can't, but then that wouldn't have been on a match court, though.
Oh, God, no.
Was it like one of those Rafa Nadal situations, like if you break a racket, you're never playing again?
It wasn't that explicit. It was just known, like, don't do that. Ooh, what a point. Oh, Sinner's just everywhere.
Yeah, Sinner running that drop shot down amazingly well there to pick it off at the net. Fantastic. Yeah, I mean, how sorry are you feeling for Dimitrov right now?
How sorry?
How sorry? Like, is he getting is he getting everything handed to him right now?
I wouldn't say he's getting it handed to him. It's just not going his way. I feel like it's crazy because, well, he was also on the back foot during this Zverev match. So maybe this is an expected result, because if he was on the back foot during that match, then I feel like it was bound that Sinner would, I don't know, handle him. But we'll see. He had moments of absolute perfection during that, and I'm waiting to see that happen in this one.
Interesting. There's ATP have flashed up stats around steal insights, and I've got no idea what they mean.
Steal?
Yeah, steal is in like STAL, like stealing something.
Interesting.
Steal percentages. I'm like, what's a steal percentage? What are they measuring here? Context, please. I mean, maybe the commentators are going to give you context, but I feel like if we were in the booth, we are in the booth, and they just flash those up on the screen, we're like, well, I'm just going to ignore those because we don't know what those mean. We're not professionals. I'm so sorry.
Great point for Dimitrov at the net. That's how he's going to have to play the volleys.
Positive start there. Matthew, I'm glad you're kidding, because let's face it, it depends on which version of Federer you're talking about. You're talking prime Federer from the 2000s. Are you talking the late Renaissance Federer from the late 2010s? Who also regularly pretty much beat Dimitrov, apart from that US Open in 2019, which is probably officially the beginning of the end for Federer.
Yeah.
Great service game from Dimitrov here. This is exactly where he needs to start the second set.
And a great point to hold to love at the net there. You just got to keep playing like that. Very aggressive from the net, putting things deep in the court.
I mean, Ghosty, you're throwing us sort of stats for Sinner's serving, and you're absolutely right. Like, he's so good behind his first serve and finishing points and being on the front foot. But my question is, what's how many times is he getting the first serve in? And I mean, at the minute, it doesn't really matter. It's enough. If Dimitrov sort of raises his level and capitalizes a bit more, different story. Maybe causes Sinner to, if he can get in on some second serves from Sinner, which he has been mostly, or at least he was the early part of the set. Trying to make this competitive.
It's looking like we may have a repeat of the beginning of the first set. Sinner's up 30 love. So quick service holds here. We'll see if Dimitrov is the one who's able to pounce this time in the set.
Yeah, a reverse of the set would be quite interesting. Especially if it's a double break. Not out the question. Not after that love service hold Dimitrov had. Assuming these are Karota boys in the audience and not Dutch tennis fans. I don't know why. They're probably rooting against Sinner after he beat Jannik.
Oh, yeah.
I think Ghosty's seen what happened before you did, Bianca.
I've got my I have like TSN, that's what I use. Sometimes they have like their own app, TSN Plus. Sometimes they'll play the matches on TSN Plus, and sometimes they just play it on the channel. And when they play on the channel, sometimes it just cuts to commercial, like midpoint. So I'm in a commercial right now.
Okay, never mind. Never mind. I'm probably about to go to a commercial as well on my channel, on Sky in the UK. Yeah. So, what's been your favorite matches from Miami, Bianca?
Ooh, I mean, I like the Dimitrov Alcaraz match. It was electrifying in the crowd. I feel like people were not rooting against Alcaraz in any way, just I feel like rooting for Dimitrov, rooting for the upset, because the crowd was like really electric. Collins, oh gosh, I've watched, how many of her matches have I watched?
Most of them, by the sound of it.
Yeah. The final was great. Like, I was so happy for her, especially, I mean, of course everyone's asking her, like, now that you're playing so well, are you staying on tour? And she's like, absolutely not. Like, her mind has been made. So that's nice, because like, what a nice way to cap off your career with. So see how emotional she was. That was like a great final. And her speech was quite something. I don't know if you were able to watch it. Maybe one of the longest winner speeches.
It was pretty long because I was commentating on the match and she was talking and I was kind of going, yeah, this is going on for a while. I need to go back and listen to it. But yeah, that was it was a good straight sets match. That final. Hello, Nerlan. I mean, you would like to think, Ghosty, that I smash rackets, but you come on, you know me pretty well. I'm not a. I'm a pretty even. Like, don't get me wrong. I'm very demonstrative on court and can get very openly frustrated. But I'm more like Andy Murray, where I yell it out rather than smash it out. great rally here to start the opening point here. I'm probably a couple of points behind you. Oh, I love that backhand winner from Dimitrov. But you've already seen it ages ago.
Ooh, Dimitrov just hit a smash right into the net to get to 15 all.
That's not what he needs, because that's, you know, he doesn't want to do anything that could possibly give Sinner a sniff of a break. At all.
He's going to want to keep it to as many love service holds as possible, because even Sinner getting in the game to 30 feels like it's too close.
It's looking promising for Dimitrov after that point, sort of moving his way to gain points now. Philip, they need 2 sets to win. This is a best of 3 match, so Sinner is 1 set away from winning the Miami title. It'll be sort of best of 3 for most of the tournaments. But if you come join us for the Grand Slams, you know, Roland Garros, Wimbledon, US Open, that's when it's first of 3 sets. So if you want to join us for those matches, then hit subscribe, and you'll hear plenty of updates from us throughout the year on all the tennis. How is Dimitrov about to put this game away?
Yes, he is. Good serve there from him. Oof, great shot from Sinner there. Oh, they're using an angle that I can't see what's happening. Oh, great backhand again from Dimitrov. Oh, but Sinner's still there, and Dimitrov tries the backhand slice, and it just goes into the net. All right, 40-30, so still has game point here. Dimitrov is now up to 11 backhand unforced errors. I think this stat's just for the set already.
Eesh.
And Sinner is at 0.
Did it say set or match? Because
Dimitrov
has not lost 11 points this set, surely.
No, for the match.
Yeah.
But Sinner being at 0, wow.
Yeah, Sinner's just not missing. Like, I mean, like on the backhand, forehand, I've seen a couple of misses from him.
And a forehand sails wide from Dimitrov to take us to deuce. Sean, yes, Dimitrov is using the slice, and it's not working as well as I think he would want it to right now.
Yeah, it's just not working. That's the thing, is that, you know, it's not necessarily a bad shot, especially on the defense, but the way he's executing it, he's just not, it's just not working. Just keeps...
Dimitrov on the run already, and not able to get there in time to set up anything. Sinner had him on the run and hits a forehand into the net. Already on trouble on serve in this 4th game of the 2nd set. Sinner's advantage.
It feels like it went from 40-15 to break point very quickly.
Very quickly, yeah.
That's what happens when you play with the big guns. Very easy to go off.
All right, but Dimitrov gets a first serve and has Sinner running, but Sinner... Oh, no. Sinner was there, hits a deep shot, and Dimitrov again tried the backhand slice into the net.
Yeah, he's got to stop slicing. Like, was slice the right choice there?
For Dimitrov?
Yeah.
No, seeing as though it has been the shot that's not been working the best for him.
Yeah, because I'm kind of seeing this now, and oh yeah, so he kind of, that was not the right shot choice. I've just seen that now. He gets, because obviously he tried to run foot Sinner by going back behind him. Sinner was still there; he hadn't moved yet, and so could get it back. And then Dimitrov ran to pick it off, and I don't know why he sliced it. He had time to hit through it. I mean, maybe it was a high bounce, but still a slice of that height is high risk. Because chopping down on the slice is going to make the trajectory not favorable. So we're into a new service game, and Sinner's rattling through it already, setting a break up. He is very much on his way to a first Miami title.
You're about to see a great cross-court winner from Sinner there. Amazing angle on it. Dimitrov couldn't do much but just watch it fly past.
Just, passing him by.
Quickly up to 30 love.
Yeah, see it now. That cross-court forehand was so good from Sinner.
All right, we have I'm not sure if that's the first. It seems like it. Unforced error from Sinner on the forehand.
I think he's definitely missed a few forehands. But I don't think it's the backhand that's not breaking down.
Or first in this set, rather.
That makes sense. Yeah, that makes sense.
But follows it up with an ace out wide.
If Sinner wins this match, he will be 22-1 for the season.
Does he pass Alcaraz for number 2 with this win?
He does. If he wins the title, he's going to be world number 2.
Oh my gosh.
And he's going to be in pole position to take down Djokovic.
Oh, absolutely.
Especially with, Alcaraz has got way more points to defend on clay than Sinner does.
Yeah. Whew. Amazing backhand down the line for Dimitrov there.
Still proving he's still in it. Still wants to say.
Still there, still fighting.
Still there. Sinner can't take his foot off the gas. I mean, Ghosty, you're saying that you thought Dimitrov would have a better chance, but let's face it. I think who does have a chance against Jannik Sinner right now? Probably just Carlos Alcaraz, maybe Novak Djokovic if he gets his act together. Actually, not Djokovic. Why am I saying maybe Djokovic? Definitely Djokovic. What am I on about?
I don't know. I think that match of the Australian Open, Djokovic seems so unraveled. I think you can say maybe Djokovic.
I mean, Djokovic didn't show up for 2 sets, did in the third, and then Sinner competed with him in the fourth. I think if the match started with the third set, it would have been a very different match.
Dimitrov trying there with the inside out forehand. Just hit one wide.
Yeah.
And Sinner holds.
Is it whenever he's going for the angles, it's just not working?
Yeah.
Yeah, the range on kind of when he's trying to go for the deep on the wings is just not going too good.
Yeah. He's definitely not been as sharp in this match as he has been in the last 2.
Who's I don't know why everyone's starting to name Marozsan and Luca Nardi in the chat. I don't know what that's responding to.
Is this who has a chance against Sinner?
Maybe.
Have Sinner and Marozsan played each other?
Who was it, Marozsan? Because Marozsan went deep. Was it here or Indian Wells? Marozsan went deep.
I think it was.
I'll
I don't remember.
I'll look at that. So Marozsan.
He played Alcaraz somewhere. It was either here or Indian Wells.
He got to the quarters here in Miami. Beat Rune, and then lost to Zverev.
Rune. I almost forgot about him.
Sorry?
Said I almost forgot about Rune. Where is he?
Rune's been very forgettable recently.
Yeah.
He needs to do something about that.
His place in the next gen big three is really not so solid.
Yeah, I mean, how do you think a Sinner Marajan match could go? If Marajan's on his trying to hit the cover off the ball and it's somehow working.
I think it would be electric. It would be one of those highlight reel matches if he's producing those kind of things. Well, did with Alcaraz. I feel like I would definitely want to see that matchup against Sinner because I feel like he kind of plays like him.
Does he? I would have thought Marajan's a bit more of a risk taker.
I feel like they both have really big forehands. Maybe that's what I'm comparing it to.
Maybe.
All right, Dimitrov, first point on serve lost. Whew. Had Sinner running left and right there. I mean, again, that point there that he had Sinner moving, that would have been a winner against most other people. But Sinner was there, even though the ball went into the net.
And that goes back to what Sean was talking about earlier in the chat with Sinner's defense has vastly improved. Like, he's running everything down. You cannot. It's so hard to hit a ball past him at the minute. Even Alcaraz was having trouble when he beat him at Indian Wells, and it required a bit of a dip from Sinner.
All right, Dimitrov already in a little bit of trouble here. 15-30. Sinner is pressing. He wants this breadstick.
He wants to get the job done. I think he wants to continue stamping his superiority over the tour. Thank you so much for the super sticker, Sean. Really appreciate it.
Thank you, Sean.
That's going to help us out a lot. Thank you so much.
But Dimitrov follows it up with a great serve. Pivotal point here. Virtual match point if it goes Sinner's way.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. Because there's no way Dimitrov's coming back from that if Jannik Sinner breaks here. This is crunch time. And you feel like with the pressure Sinner exerting, it's not looking good for Grigor Dimitrov.
And the nerves are there. Backhand into the net.
And there's that virtual match point Bianca was talking about.
Yep. Break point for Sinner to go up 5-1. Would be serving for the match. How does Dimitrov respond?
I mean, this does feel like that Medvedev match where, no matter what Dimitrov is trying, it's just not getting through.
Oh, Dimitrov. And he's broken. The point, you'll see it just now. He had it all set up, pushed Sinner wide, got a short ball, went to smash it, and smashed it into the stands.
Oh, no.
That's going to cost him. That's it.
Oh.
He looks furious. I mean...
Oh. I mean, maybe he should take Ghosty's advice and smash some rackets. Thank you so much for the $3, Ghosty.
Thanks, Ghosty.
To answer your question, Ghosty, by the way, do I not think of Sinner as the kind of guy who takes risks? No, I don't think of him like that because he's so metronomic. But you're right. He takes calculated risks. He decides to go big, and going big on any shot is a risk. But it's calculated. He very rarely goes for out of desperation or for no particular reason. It's great defending at the net from Sinner there to get that opening point. Ghosty, I think the fat lady's on stage.
And things, yeah. Dimitrov seems to be checked out of this. Forehand just sailing wide right now.
The curtain is about to open.
He's probably still thinking about that point. I would be if I was him too, because potentially it could have been 4-2 right now.
And still continuing. Here we go. I don't know why I'm about to comment out on a point that's already happened. I think, Bianca, take us through what's happening.
All right, it's 30 love Sinner, second serve here. And Dimitrov swings a backhand into the net to bring up match points. Triple match points for Jannik Sinner to win his first Miami Masters title, his second Masters 1000 title. He's stepping up to the line. Very calm, cool, collected. 3 championship points here.
I'm in shock right now, but I'll explain why I'm in shock in a minute.
All right, first serve is good. Oh, and Sinner hits a clean backhand winner down the line. He is the Miami champion. 3rd time's the charm. Firmly the best player in the world right now. Stomped out Dimitrov's light. Very unceremoniously.
72-minute win, only 3 minutes longer than it took for him to beat Medvedev.
Oh,
Here's what Yep.
wow.
Yep.
Jannik
And
Sinner, refund these people their tickets.
he only dropped one more game as well.
Wow. Was it as strong of a beatdown as Medvedev's, or was that way worse?
What
Like
which
this match?
beatdown was worse?
Like did Dimitrov have better chance than Medvedev did?
No, I'd say it was about the same.
Oh.
About the same. Like, yeah, if you watch this match, it was like the difference is that Dimitrov didn't get frustrated to the very end, whereas Medvedev got frustrated way sooner. But yeah, here's the reason why I was shocked. This is only Jannik's second Masters 1000 title?
Yeah.
Like, how? That is crazy stat right there.
I was feeling very proud for Canada to be his first.
Yeah, probably that was probably a very significant win for him. Like looking back on it,
it was part of the turning point time for him.
Yeah, that summer after that Altmaier loss was definitely about building towards what happened from Beijing onwards. Then the era was still in for Jannik Sinner, who, yeah, is now 22-1 for the season and currently only seems to be able to lose to either Novak Djokovic or Carlos Alcaraz.
He will be the world number 2 come Monday, and will be definitely gunning for that number 1 spot, which I think he absolutely deserves.
100%, yeah. I think obviously it's a long way to go. A lot of points on the line. As we said, Sinner's not got a lot of points to defend, but Djokovic doesn't have many points to defend up until Roland Garros. Mm-hmm. Like, he's only got Rome quarters to defend, I think. He didn't play Madrid, and I think he went out very early in Monte Carlo.
Oh, yes, true. To Massetti.
Yeah.
But then he's got Roland Garros final, Wimbledon final. No, Roland Garros title, Wimbledon final.
Yeah. That's when the world number 1 gets back on the table. Mm-hmm. Until then, Sinner's got to rack up the points to put him in position.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think overall this was still an amazing 2 weeks, amazing tournament for Dimitrov. Obviously back in the top 10 after some crazy amount of weeks, 280 something weeks. Best form we've seen him in since 2017, 2018 for sure.
Yeah,
I think it's only a sign of good things for him.
He's going to be world number 9. He's not far off getting himself some decent draws. If Rune's form doesn't improve, Rune's going to drop back. That will put Dimitrov top 8.
Yeah.
Rude is currently being held up by his Roland Garros final. If he doesn't defend that, that's going to move him up as well. So, we're going to have. So Dimitrov is it could be well be back in the top 8, and I agree. This is a season worthy of his high point of sort of 2017, as you were saying. By the way, I want to give you a bit of stat. As I was thinking about it, and like, who else would be really surprising? It was only their second Masters 1000, and I realised Roger Federer in 2004. He won Indian Wells after backing up the Australian Open, having an amazing start to the season, and that was only his second Masters 1000. His first being Hamburg in 2002, so he hadn't won one the previous season. And very similar of like decent player, great prospect, wasn't making that step up. Oh, he's here now.
Yeah.
He's winning Grand Slams.
Yeah.
Obviously, maybe his sunshine double was the other way around, given he won Indian Wells and lost to his great rival Nadal in Miami. Straight up, that was the first time they played. Whereas for Sinner, it's wins Miami after losing to his great rival Carlos Alcaraz.
Mm-hmm.
We're assuming Carlos Alcaraz is going to be his great rival. I can't that's going to take that. Unless some young guy shows up, like some 17, 18-year-old like Fonseca takes it to Sinner on their first meeting.
I don't know. I feel like they meet a lot because of their position in the rankings as well, like 2 and 3. So they're meeting instead of just finals, it's like semis. So we get to see them interact a lot. And I feel like they have a good like friendship chemistry. So that adds to the rivalry aura.
I really, really want that first final between the two of them. That like obviously they played the Mag final, but like this is the first final where they're both Grand Slam champions.
Yeah.
That's going to add something.
If it was a Grand Slam final too.
Wimbledon final. A Wimbledon final between those two would be wonderful. I mean, any of them would be wonderful. Wimbledon or the US Open.
Mm-hmm.
But I think Wimbledon final would be something that would kind of get everyone talking about, like tennis post in the UK anyway, because everyone's like, who else is there other than Djokovic? And then now people are aware of a Djokovic-Alcaraz rivalry.
Yeah.
But unless you follow sport, you haven't heard of Sinner. Mind you, having said that, there's people in the UK who don't know who Iga Swiatek is.
Yeah.
Anyway, Ghosty, to answer some of your questions, are we doing a post-tourney episode? Yeah, we'll be doing our usual ATP and WTA weeklies. They're going to come out tomorrow. I don't know when ATP weekly is coming out, what the plan is for that, because obviously I'm not on it. WTA weekly will be out Monday morning my time. We're going to have Marcus Buckland on the show to wrap up all the stories from there. So that's what we're going to be doing there. And then you had another question, which I've lost because the chat scrolled up. Oh, yeah. Bianca, you can do this one. Story of the tournament from the men's side.
It'd have to be Grigor Dimitrov. Like, just the coming back into the top 10 after so many weeks, the form, beating so many top players, beating Alcaraz. I think he's definitely the story, with Jannik Sinner being a very close second.
Stat here from Schwana. Rybakina has spent most time on court out of both the ATP and WTA players. I think she was on for like 13 hours.
Yeah, something crazy and ridiculous.
I don't think any of the guys had to really scrap their way through. Okay, got an update. Yes, so 11 a.m. GMT start for WTA Weekly, 7 p.m. for ATP Weekly, which will probably be bringing you the initial results from Estoril, which of course John and Damien are both covering. So I'm very excited to see what they bring. We're already getting some cool press conferences and insights coming from them on the channel. So if you are new, you want to see some, have some different tennis coverage out there, give us a like, give us a subscribe, so you can follow everything we're coming and sort of watch these wrap-up shows that we have planned. Trophy ceremony is underway. Let's talk a little bit about the match. I know we've talked about it throughout it, but my read on it was very much Sinner producer level that like Dimitrov did his best to live with and just couldn't. Would that be about right?
Yeah, like all the tactics that Dimitrov had employed in previous matches, he just wasn't even able to begin to try to do them here. Sinner was just completely all over him, and that I feel like that would be kind of like demoralizing. Like you're doing everything you can and nothing's working, and you kind of saw that as first set was 6-3. He had his chances there, and then the second set it was just over before it started.
I think even as amateur tennis players have that experience. Like there's a guy, like I'm in a local tennis league where I live, and there is a guy who has not lost a match in the league for literally years. I'm not joking. And I cannot work out, like, I think I lost a set 6-love to him, and I was in deuce games for the first half of that set, and it was really close. And then I just couldn't hit through him. Because everything I was doing, he was just had an answer for.
Wow.
I don't know if you ever ran into anyone like that.
Oh, absolutely. Showing up to tournaments and you check the draw, like, I mean, I'd say back in the day, like 2010, like they would just have it on a paper and you'd go there and I'd see the names of someone who's like beat me multiple times before. And I'm already like, oh God, like checking out mentally.
Ghosty, you don't need to know his name. I for now, we will just refer to him as Rob. But I fully believe you could find out. He plays a little bit like he's like a controlled Denis Shapovalov, like to the point of like lefty, does the trick, bounce the ball between his legs before serving thing. But
I've tried to do that.
Yeah, I don't understand.
I don't know how that works.
Like when you actually play him, it's like he plays far more within the margins than Shapovalov does.
Wow.
So it's interesting there. Oh yeah, you've got a rankings update to do in 24 hours, Bianca.
Yes, I do. Lots of updates to add this week.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot. There's been a lot of moving around.
Lots of players Dimitrov here in this trophy ceremony.
Yeah, he's stepping up he's going to do a speech and then get the trophy if that's how it works out. Yeah, I think he should still be proud of himself this week.
Absolutely, yeah.
No shame in
like tournaments like this where like the loser is not leaving with nothing. Like he leaves with number 9 spot.
Leaves with another 1,000 final. Beat Carlos Alcaraz. You know, I think if he was playing against Jannik Sinner from last year, he'd have had more of a chance.
Yeah.
Maybe. But yeah, he's got a good opportunity. He's definitely got, like, you know, put him in the right field, he'll be winning 500s. Do you I mean, Dimitrov on clay, mixed bag, right? If I'm thinking right, like he's got some decent results on it, but nothing stellar.
Yeah, I'm not tuned into Dimitrov on clay as much, so I'll take your word for that.
I think he's been to the Monte Carlo semi-finals. I think that's his best result on the surface.
Oh yes, hasn't he made the semi-finals of 8 out of the 9 Masters now, and the quarterfinals of all?
Good question. I will check that. Because that's that's something. That's a nice little badge of honor of sort of, you know, he shows up regularly-ish. He does show up regularly now. Dimitrov on grass could be interesting because obviously he's a Wimbledon semi-finalist. Has won Queens once, finalist another time. Like I could see him, if in this version of Dimitrov, being a massive factor. Let's have a look. Yeah. Semi-final. Yeah, he's made the quarterfinals of all of them. Minimum. The only one he's not made a semi-final of is actually Madrid.
Wow, I'm proud I remembered that. I think I saw that flash across the TV once, like 3 days ago.
Crazy, because actually up until now, Miami was the only one he hadn't made a quarterfinal of before.
Wow. He said, "Let me just check that off."
Now all Medvedev has to do is do the same thing with like winning Indian Wells, and then he's got all the hard court wins.
Yep. I think Medvedev's focus this year should absolutely be defend a title.
Does he have any title? I think the only title left he's got to defend is Rome.
Did he not win anything after Rome?
I don't think he did.
He had a lot of finals though. Lost
Yeah.
to Sinner.
Yeah, I don't think he has. I think Daniel Medvedev, his most recent title was Rome last year, which is crazy.
Yeah.
So yeah, if he's going to defend a title, it is, as we said earlier, going to have to be Rome. Which, again, who saw that coming?
Literally nobody.
Sinner's now doing his winner's speech at the minute. So we'll probably be wrapping up fairly shortly. But yeah, I think we've kind of just said, being kind of fairly blunt about how he's done and the performance he put in, because that was a ruthlessly efficient Jannik Sinner performance. Nothing came past him. He was and that was the kind of the foundation of Dimitrov not being able to hit through and getting frustrated and making errors. And then Sinner, when he lined everything up, it was going in, and it made very few errors himself. Absolute weapon at points. Serve was unplayable today.
Yeah. It's hard to analyze when someone's just he's just better. He's better than him.
Just better, and he's better than everyone right now.
Yeah.
Everyone except I think Alcaraz and Djokovic are the ones who are closest to him.
Yeah.
And look, Alcaraz beat him on the slower conditions of Indian Wells with maybe Sinner running out of gas a little bit, like maybe picking up a slight injury. Djokovic, they've played 4 times in a very close period of time, and it was 3-1 Sinner during that period. And I don't think Djokovic was that off, but I think Djokovic and Alcaraz have to be on their games to beat Sinner.
Oh yeah.
Ghosty, I will pass that on to John. We'll try and see if we can get a racket smash. Have we ever seen Jannik Sinner smash a racket? I'm sure we must have.
I don't know. He doesn't give me racket smashing vibes.
He's too chill. He's too polite. So yeah. Well, we can. Making no promises, Ghosty, but I'm sure John will watch this back and maybe he'll give us some info. So, okay, looks like Sinner's about to be handed the Miami trophy by someone from the tournament, and he takes it and cradles it like the most precious thing he's held.
Pets it almost.
Yeah, and he shows it off. Jannik Sinner finally, on his 3rd attempt, has a Miami Masters trophy.
3rd time's a charm. So maybe Rybakina will get it next year. She's only lost her 2nd final this year, so.
That is true. That is very true. I think, I'd be surprised if she doesn't win Miami. That would be really unfortunate for her. But of course, the 2 times that she lost, she came up against very good quality players that were having a great week.
Yeah.
Kvitova and Collins. But we can talk all about that on WTA Weekly tomorrow, 11 a.m. GMT, which I think for sort of you Americans, we're talking 6 a.m. EST. So if you don't fancy waking up for that, just watch the video back on demand. It'll be there on your YouTube feed. But we will have ATP Weekly where we'll hear sort of Damien Mario's kind of perspective on the match and what happened there, and you can hear their sort of in-depth analysis on all things from this Miami tournament for a proper review as we start looking ahead to the clay season. So again, if you are new, you want to hear more in-depth analysis, then you can do that. Damien saying, of course not, never smashing a racket. That's what I like to hear. Be very surprised if he did. Maybe John will cause him to do his first racket smash in the Talking Tennis Slam that they are due to play this week. Bianca, what are you most looking forward to about the clay season coming up?
I'm looking forward to seeing if we can get like an Alcaraz domination. I feel like we've seen Djokovic going on a tear, Sinner going on a tear, and Alcaraz has not had that, like you said, unbeatable streak, it feels like, for a while. And I feel like maybe the clay season is the perfect chance for him to restamp his dominance on the tour.
If it's going to be anywhere, it's going to be clay and grass. The natural surfaces. That's when his style comes into its own. Having said that, he doesn't do too bad on hard court.
Not too bad at all. Hard court slamming a couple thousands. I'll take that.
Yeah. Do you think anyone can take him down in Spain? He hasn't lost in Spain for like 2 years, 3 years.
I don't know. I don't know who would. Do
you know what? I think the last person to beat him in Spain was Rafa Nadal in Madrid, 21.
So then they were okay with that. It's Rafa winning another Spaniard, but the support that he gets there, it's like it'd be like, who would dare to take him down?
Could you imagine Alcaraz Sinner in Madrid and Alcaraz Sinner in Rome? That's crowds. Those crowds.
There would be riots in the streets. Like, it would be insanely epic. And oh my gosh, 2 finals. We need it.
I mean, you're assuming they're in finals. If Djokovic plays those, then they're going to be 2 and 3. You'd have to hope they were in
not in the same
sides.
Section, yeah.
And Djokovic doesn't show up because Djokovic is probably. Are we expecting Djokovic to show up this clay season?
I think so. I think he'll play what he usually does. Hopefully, he's more rested now and trained and ready to kick into high gear. He's I love this interview where he was talking about how confused he is that he doesn't have a title already for the season.
Which is weird because he's had seasons like that before. I'm pretty sure that was his 2022 season as well. Took him till was it
True, but definitely different circumstances.
Yeah.
Season, so.
But then, even then, he chose not to. He didn't play Miami this year.
Yeah.
I guess we'll find out. How he is. I'm expecting him to come out swinging this clay season and make it very interesting and spoil the opportunities we have for a partisan crowd at an Alcaraz Sinner match at either Madrid or Rome. Yeah. That's a lot to look forward to. A lot to so look forward to. Hopefully you join us for that ride. Yeah. Bianca, do you want to say any final thoughts on Jannik Sinner?
I mean, I would like to get a private lesson with Darren Cahill. I want to know what he's instilled in him, because the Jannik we're seeing today is it's amazing. There's not enough words to talk about how he's just fine-tuned his skills and really has just become like the best player that we've seen in a while. And it's really exciting. It's really exciting. I like the prospect of a new top person emerging. So very happy. And Jannik also seems like a great person. So it's nice that it's happening for him.
I think he's already had a few sort of great player comparisons for the start of his season. He was on for Djokovic comparisons until he lost to Alcaraz. I've just compared his start of the season to Federer's 2004 season.
If he does well on play, he'll get the Nadal comparisons.
Are we getting ahead of ourselves?
I mean, we always are, because why not? It's fun. It's fun to dream.
It's fun to dream. It's fun to talk tennis with you, Bianca. Thanks for joining us and for wonderfully describing this match as it happened. Really great to see your live reaction to everything and enjoying and living every shot. We will be back sort of throughout the week. As I said, got ATP and WTA week tomorrow. We'll be bringing you live up. We'll be bringing you lots of updates from Estoril, and we will also be hopefully bringing some more commentaries to come. If not next week, then definitely for Monte Carlo, which is just around the corner. It starts a week tomorrow. Can you believe that?
Crazy.
I'm looking forward to speaking to all of you again very soon. Hopefully you enjoyed our show. Until the next time, take care and keep talking tennis.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe and click that notification bell so you don't miss out on all things tennis.